I would always be true to myself, and I'd always do my best to deliver and excel. In a nutshell, I would say that I'm a doer. I would always get things done irrespective of how difficult the task is. I push boundaries to get where I need to be. I would describe myself as brave. I enjoy challenges. I'm quite comfortable to be vocal and express myself. I love a good book and I enjoy poetry. I worked at the West Bank for a good couple of years, for 17 years. I moved into different areas. I would say it would be collections, legal, and the motor industry. This is where I got my first experience in the taxi business. I then lived in Dubai for 3 years and did a short stint there. After that, I was at R&B and I found myself a home at SA Taxi shortly after that. It's actually a funny story. I got a call from HR for a completely different role. But the person was going on maternity leave and nothing actually came of that. And then I saw an ad for a role at SA Taxi. So before I got that call from HR, I never ever heard of SA Taxi, to be honest with you. And I think that was just somehow a way to show that I belonged at this company. I feel like I was guided here. And that's how I came to find a home over here. I must say my first day at SA Taxi was so welcoming. I remember it vividly. Everybody was welcoming. Everybody greeted everybody. I would say what drives me is a sense of achievement. I enjoy excelling in what I do. It's very important for me to add value to people, to my team, and to the business. So, in a nutshell, a sense of achievement is what drives me, is always to deliver. I draw my strength from, I think, being both very tender and being tough. I think being vulnerable so that I can enjoy every moment to the fullest, be it bad or not. And I think being tough so that I can survive it. That's where I draw strength from. And then also from my family and the people that support me. Definitely, I don't think anybody just becomes or gets molded into what they are without being influenced by somebody. So for me, I would definitely say my grandmother. Why? I'm very fortunate to have been raised by her. So the wisdom she imparted is priceless. She was just a normal lady who was trying to make ends meet, and she survived it all. And then I would also say Rosa Parks. I think why? She reminds me of my gran. A seamstress, going to work, making ends meet. But one day she just decided that I'm not going to give my seat up for a white passenger. You know, I feel like Rosa, even though it was in the 1900s, I feel that she knew what she deserved. I feel that Rosa knew her worth. And she was prepared to do something that was so difficult at that time, knowing the consequences, but she stayed true to herself. And that is inspirational. I think for me, what helps me get through challenging times is the understanding that everything is as it should be in that moment. Whether it is to weather a storm in that moment, or whether it is to just stop and smell the roses. I think if I understood this many years ago, I wouldn't have wasted so much energy. There is such a thing as divine timing. And it's only in that times when we grow. It starts, and we only realize it when we turn the corner. That it was actually good for me as a person, you know? So that's how I do it. Okay, what's helped me succeed as a woman is, well, I think it's very simple. Don't make excuses. You know, I learned a long time ago is just don't make excuses. Apply yourself and learn. Deliver. Do better than what you did yesterday. Don't talk a big game. Rather deliver big. And that's worked for me. this is a tough question. I think the hurdles that are in the workplace, I think we could actually have a panel debate, and get some heavyweights in, some ladies that are in exco boardrooms to share experiences. But me personally, I think that men have always been looked at as getting the job done. And women have always been looked at as just being caregivers. Not that they are caregivers and can actually be beasts in a boardroom. So for me, part of the hurdles are the culture in the workplace, the gender stereotyping, the lack of commitment from leaders and executive teams to ensure that there is gender diversity, and that's just to name a few. In terms of how I believe can assist in overcoming the hurdles, for me personally, I think we all need to keep ourselves accountable. And I feel that we need to start changing the narrative by fostering a culture of liberation and empowerment, but not only in the workplace. I feel that this starts at home. Because this really will only, we can look at decades. It takes decades to change this type of thinking. I feel that we need to push boundaries in gender equality by utilizing our strengths in leadership qualities. So in skill, in knowledge, and with emotion, and in empowering others. I really think it's a journey of learning, then unlearning, and healing. So maybe we can start there. So I'm of the opinion that we really need to just push forward and empower ourselves. I think there needs to be a strong understanding that we need to empower ourselves. I know that this is easier said than done. It really also depends on how you've been raised, how you've been socialized. I think women need to uplift women. And I think there's a lack of that in a workplace amongst women themselves. For me, a great start would be perhaps having a female empowerment mentorship program. But it really can't be a tick box exercise. We can't do it for the sake of it. It really needs to be purposeful, it needs to be meaningful. So it needs to carry some weight. And we need to see some action in terms of empowerment. So for me, that would be a start to empowering women. It's not about yourself, empowerment. It's really about touching others and allowing them to navigate their way to get there. And also I wanted to add that, there's a wonderful book, it's called The Perils of Patriarchy. And the book is written by 10 authors, 10 females in different social standings. And when I read the book, it's lovely because it's not an attack on me. When you read it, you may think differently. It's not an attack on me. It's not saying let's take patriarchy and let's replace it with matriarchy. It's about how do we dismantle patriarchy in different social standings. It's about let's be fair to both men and women. It's about equality. And it's a good book to actually understand it. And what's beautiful is it's women that are upcoming, academics, knowledgeable, young, dynamic, a very different take on patriarchy. Yeah, that's it.